Hello everyone, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where the start of this is going to be a little bit weird because I had an issue with the recording, same issue that affected the Terran Victor campaign, so I'm having to redo the voiceover, but just for the first part of this one. So last time we managed to get a helicopter to Eve, but it didn't work particularly great in that it left the Kerbal there stranded. Learned a couple of lessons, mostly that we need some kind of jettison rocket to make the heat shields clear the spacecraft, so I'm just putting those on here in the background. And we also need to remember to lock the blades in position before launching so they don't randomly twist out of position. So we're going to make those changes and then jump into it. The launch, transfer and circularization went pretty much the same as last time, so I'm just briefly showing them here, with the exception of I didn't really mess up the transfer as much as I did last time, and so that means after circularization we still have 2000 delta V to play with. Then finally I just jumped over to our ghillie lander in order to plant a flag there, since I forgot that we got a mission to do that, so just completing that before it times out. From here on though, this will be the live voiceover as things are happening. Okay, so I've got a burn laid out. Hopefully this will do okay. Should be just as sun is setting. Should get light for the way down, I hope. Starting our burn, it's a 4-minute burn to bleed off all of our fuel. We'll bleed off 2/3 of our delta V. Inflating our main heat. Oh, bollocks. With the load, it's... I stopped playing between the last bit and this bit, and it's reset the orientation of the propellers. Okay, that's relocked them in a position that should hold it. That will have messed things up a little bit, but we'll just have to do our best. Definitely re-entering at this point. We're retracting the solar panel since we're about to enter the atmosphere. As soon as we get heating effects, I'm going to jettison. Crap, that hit things a bit awkward. Okay, try turning prograde. Try turning any direction that's not your current direction. Shit, we lost a gear already. Okay, 2 landing gear are out. Okay, so we lost 2 landing gear. That's fine. We can possibly salvage those from the other hindline. We also lost 1 of the solar panels. Don't notice that. It's okay, we only need 1 solar panel, but we do need to get it down safely. Okay, so we're almost down, so I'm going to... This is just auto-rotating now. I'm going to engage the motors and deploy the solar panel. The Kraken definitely wants to kill this thing. Alright, I'm going to try jettisoning the 2 heat shields. There we go. Kraken's eating those as well. Unfortunately, with just the 1 solar panel, I don't think this has enough power to maintain continuous thrust, so I've just had to turn the engine off. It's okay auto-rotating for now. Okay, the real big problem here is because the physics are glitching out on the propellers so much. This is incredibly hard to control because the center of lift is constantly changing. Okay, I managed to set this thing down, though it's still vibrating like crazy. Okay, we've got semi-functional helicopter that is down. Now I just need to move it 8 kilometers that way. Right. First thing I'm going to do is just wait until morning. Even better, wait until noon. We've got power now. Unfortunately, we don't have a signal. We've got a very weak antenna, and it doesn't have line of sight to either of our relay satellites. Okay, now I've got a semi-good signal, and we're in the sun. It's almost noon, so let's see what we can do here. Even with both engines on, the battery is more or less holding. Part of the problem as well is I did all of the testing on this with a full fuel tank. And now I've got a completely empty tank, and I think that's really throwing off the balance. So what I might do is try and refuel this thing before we move over to the Heinlein. Thankfully this does have the ability to refuel itself this time, now it's landed intact. Shit! There goes the idea of refueling. Clip the processing unit on the ground on landing. Still, we can try to do something, I suppose. I can't even take a solar panel off of the old one, it's too heavy. Okay, it's still not a disaster. I can get in this one. I just have to get to the Hesphius. The Hesphius does have a processing unit attached to it, so it can refuel both craft. Let's see if Gumuki can actually get into this thing. Yep, some weirdness there, but she can board. And what I am actually going to do, I can't refuel this section, but I can give this thing some bloody ballast by just getting some ore here. Okay, I got some ore there. It's going to take bloody ages to get all of the ore, so I'm just going to leave that at that point and then try and make our way to the Hesphius. Oh, no time like the present. Time to see if we can limp this thing over 30 odd kilometers. Yeah, it does seem a little bit more stable with some ore in there, so hopefully it'll be okay to try and make the escape with this thing. Of course, flying this, I'm just looking in absolute terror at the blades, which are just going insane, keeping the collective quite low, really just because I'm afraid that if I pull the collective up too much, that is going to split into many smaller blades, and this is going to die. Halfway to the target, mostly now. I am just very worried about trying to dock this thing, because I can't drive up to it, so I'm going to have to fly into it. And with this being as hard to control as it is, it's going to be a real effort not to knock the Hesphius over. Taking a slightly calm opportunity to arm the grabber module. So probably a good time to point out that I've never used the grabber before, other than one time years ago on an asteroid, so I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to work. Capturing an asteroid or driving up to something in the testing is a lot easier than trying to get this crazy contraption to neatly dock with a giant rocket. Just realised that the brakes are on. Thought that was supposed to lock up the blades, but apparently it wasn't doing that, so okay. I just realised one problem. The blades may make contact before anything else does, because my plan was to land near the Hesphius, drive up to the Hesphius using the wheels, and so I could get the blades at a 90-degree angle so they're out the way. That's not so much an option right now. Yeah, just landed and checked. This thing does not have enough traction to go around on the surface, so I do need to land this. There may just be enough clearance for the blades. Okay, I think it did that. Okay, this is precarious as all hell. The drill is working. Processor is working. It should just be a case of holding this. And no, I don't know how I'm going to decouple this lot. I'm just going to leave that for plenty of time to get a load of ore, process all that ore, fill up the fuel tanks. Okay, made a small mistake there. I forgot to actually connect the pipes across. So it was actually... Oh, you're joking. The Kerbal can't grab hold of the external fuel duct. Under this gravity, the max part mass is 0.04 tons, so even a fuel pipe is too heavy. But some fuel was definitely made and transferred. Okay, so I need to use the small drills on this one, because they are still generating ore. Well, they were. Yep, so this is functioning. Now, it is just very slow. Okay, so this is going to take a very, very long time to refuel. I've left it for nearly a year, and it is still only a tiny amount refueled. That's fine, that's probably a good place to leave that for this week. I think what I'm going to do next week is redesign this helicopter, make it a little more durable, a little more able to actually survive a landing. And I'm going to send it to pick up the first Hesphius, which did land. Everyone was alive inside it, they just know where to get out because they've only got one little pod. Might be able to use this design to rescue them. And then while we're doing that, return and rescue, I'll give this lot time to complete the refueling process. We did get a load of first that time. That counted as our first outpost on Kerbal. That's a bit confusing. Walked on the surface of Eve. We have performed crew transfer on the surface of Eve. And that's our first outpost on Eve. And that also counted as a docking maneuver on Eve. And we planted the flag, gave us a little bit more money, paid for that mission. So yeah, financially we're in a pretty good position. Can definitely make improvements to that. I'm going to abandon the quad blade design, play around with a few things and see what I can come up with next week to make that a bit more efficient. We do have some other Kerbals on the surface that do need rescued. So, I hope you're looking forward to that. I certainly am, and I hope to catch you then. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers.